What is the role of religion in our ever-changing world? From the NewsChannel 5 network, this is Issues of Faith.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Issues of Faith. Glad you're with us. We are talking today about covering religion in Nashville. And I'm very excited about our guest. It's Holly Meyer. She is the religion reporter with the Tennessean. She's been that for a while. And if you watch this show, you've seen her work, because I will often read one of her articles and then say that would be a good Issues of Faith, and it shows up on this show. So this is the first time that she's come on the show, and I'm really happy to have her. So Holly Meyer, religion reporter with the Tennessean, joining us via Zoom, as all of our guests do now. You're also a board member with the Religious News Association. Thank you for being with us, Holly.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation.
So I think every religious reporter would say that it's an important part of the city that they cover to, be a religious reporter. But is that even more true in Nashville? I mean, how important is it for Nashville to have a religious reporter? And what about that?
Yeah, so folks call us the buckle of the Bible Belt. And even though we are still fitting into the trend of seeing a rise of a secular population, the NONESs, the nuns, religion is still deeply entrenched here. It is a part of the industry. You see it in our architecture. There's a church on what feels like nearly every street corner. And then while Protestantism is very dominant here, we still have rich religious diversity here in the city. And so I think that if we don't cover it, we're missing an important part of what makes our communities tick and what makes our neighbors choose the choices they make and support the policies they want to see enacted and vote for the folks they want to hold the positions of power.
Absolutely. And all right, you came here in 2014. You were breaking news reporter, general news reporter. Then you moved over to be a religion reporter. And I do a little bit of both as well. What would you say the difference is in being a religion reporter as opposed to just, breaking news everyday reporter?
Sure. So on the breaking news beat, stuff is coming at you fast. You never know what is going to hit you, of course. And there is religion on the breaking news beat. And since I had a little bit of experience with it, I would kind of tease out those things when I would see them. We see them in the prayer vigils following shootings and, scandals. There's sometimes religion tinges to that, et cetera. But one of the things that makes being a religion reporter unique compared to other positions is you just get to delve deeply into stuff that no one, or it's sort of like in polite company, we're not supposed to talk about religion, we're not supposed to talk about politics, but that's what I do the majority of the time. So you're dealing with sensitive issues, you're dealing with people who care just deeply about what you're talking about. So there's tension, there's emotion, and there's so much nuance. Religion is complicated. I would say most folks who are religious have a pretty decent understanding of their own religious beliefs, their specific tradition, but religious literacy beyond that could use some improvement. We need to understand our neighbors better. And one of the ways we do that is we understand what they believe and why they believe. And so I rely on a lot of experts to help me kind of splice apart the differences between that particular version of Christianity and another one. And then no one has to talk to me, right? These are not usually public officials that I'm dealing with and there's not usually public documents associated to it. So a lot of what I'm working on is through relationship building and sourcing. And so that I think is what sets religion reporting apart from that fast-paced breaking news beat.
You're right, they don't have to talk to you. They're not elected officials. And so is there skepticism? Was it hard to kind of break into it, get past that? Were there some who were like, I don't trust the media, I'm not going to talk? How do you get past that? How much did you encounter? How much do you still encounter?
Yeah, I think that you are correct that there is a mistrust of the media, but specifically I encounter it when it comes to religion, because I think there's this expectation that we're going to get it wrong, and that I think is a learned expectation. Like I said, it's really complex, and so you have to be careful to paint with a broad brush when you're talking about why someone cites a religious belief for not wanting to enact a mask mandate, for instance. And so, what I found was, through like just putting my work out there, essentially, I would occasionally get an email that's like, I clicked on this story. I didn't think it was going to be correct. And as it turns out, you got it right. So thank you. Those don't come in that often, but they come in often enough that I feel like that shows this sort of uneasiness. And so, I think it's just like putting in the work, showing time and again that willingness to get it correct, that willingness when I have to call somebody and be like, hey, I don't quite understand what you mean by this particular lingo that's really comfortable for you to use in your religious setting. Can you break it down for me, as if I don't know? I mean, because usually I don't know. So it's just that willingness to answer that question, to let them explain, and to kind of build that relationship that shows, Holly at the Tennessean is someone who will listen to me, and what shows up in print won't surprise me. And that's usually one of my goals.
That's great. And I think I get what you're saying. There's this expectation sometimes that, people get it wrong, reporters or whatever. And that speaks to a lack of trust. And so when we're calling up someone and asking them for an interview, do they interview you? I mean, would they ask you, well, what's your religious background, and how much are you comfortable telling them?
Yeah, that comes up on occasion. I think folks naturally just want to share with each other. And so I'm asking them deeply personal questions, right? And so the expectation is that I would give a little bit in return, or a lot. And I navigate that question similar to how reporters deal with their own political views. I kind of keep it close to the vest, if you will. Some reporters don't do that. They lead with, I grew up in the evangelical world. This is my background. I would say that I think for me, it just is like a personal decision about how much I want to be involved in the conversation. And I would rather just kind of keep that really narrow. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what are some of the big issues now that you're really following closely? Obviously, COVID has changed everything. What are some of the big issues you will be following and you're kind of keeping an eye on?
Yeah, so we saw the pandemic upend so much about everyday lives, including how folks pray. Everything, for the most part, shifted online. And so as we see more and more houses of worship reopen and navigate COVID protocols that are still in place, who's going to return? Will they show up in force? We've seen some conversation about the pandemic made more people turn inward to look for answers from a higher power. And we could also see potentially that being the flip side. If you thought it was a particularly devastating experience, you might be having questions of, well, where is God in all of this? If I just lost so many loved ones to this disease that seemingly popped up out of nowhere. And so I am really curious and hope to be paying attention to how the religious community reemerges. And then we've seen it carry throughout the pandemic, these conversations around sort of religious freedoms, individual freedoms kind of being pitted against public health policies, COVID protocols. And so I think we're just going to continue to see that. One of the current iterations of that is folks who don't want to get one of the COVID vaccines. I wrote a story recently about a woman in East Tennessee who said, absolutely not. I would rather be fired than get one of these vaccines because of my religious convictions. She, at the end of the day, they extended the deadline and she ended up finding a new job. But, to the, to the end, she was serious. And so I think that fight will continue, especially as we have so many vaccines readily available, and as business and life continues to reopen. Those natural sort of tension points will keep popping up.
That was a fascinating story, and that was a woman who worked in a healthcare type setting, right? I mean, so it wasn't just that she was a reporter or something. I mean, she worked around people that were really vulnerable. And she said, no, I'm not getting it. And they said, well, we'll fire you. And that kind of is kind of this fascinating debate that's going on right now.
Yeah, and I enjoyed talking to one of the local attorneys about that. And I kind of asked for sort of the flip side, because what I didn't necessarily understand, and she helped explain to me, was that yeah, you can ask for a religious exemption, but just because you ask for one, it doesn't mean you get one. And you have to kind of do this balancing test where the business has to weigh what is good for them against this sincerely held belief. And so the alternative that they threw out was like, instead of a healthcare worker working with a vulnerable population, what if it's a remote worker making all phone calls for a telemarketing firm? So it seems like that particular person would not quite have as high of a hurdle to clear as the healthcare worker working with seniors.
You've done this for a while, and do you think now we are seeing more religion and politics kind of intersecting, or not? Has it always been that way? I mean, where do you think we are now as opposed to where we were maybe, a few years ago?
I think that it is more present, and I think it has a lot to do with how divisive the previous presidential administration's time in office was. And so we saw folks who were already sort of in their camps, essentially, kind of dig in their heels more. And so those tensions that often pop up in religion and politics, I think that they are more intensified as a result of it. We're seeing some of that play out now following the U.S. Capitol riot, where we had conversations about Christian nationalism. Those conversations have come up recently when I've been reporting on a patriotic Bible that is trying to get off the ground. I talked to a professor who emailed me after that, who was like, there are other patriotic Bibles. And so what is it about this moment in time that is making this a more intensified thing than just looking at it as he was explaining to me, well, of course, sort of Christianity and American patriotism go together. There seems to be there's more scrutiny being paid to the relationships between politics and religion, and whose religion in particular is being elevated through the political sphere.
And so, as I said at the top, you're a board member with the Religious News Association. It makes perfect sense that Nashville would have a religious reporter, like you said, buckle the Bible belt. As part of that National News Association, are we seeing an increase in religious coverage in news outlets across the country, or is it staying the same, or a decrease? What are we seeing?
So I don't necessarily know if I have a great survey of it. I would say that folks are certainly covering it. But in my world, where I have a bunch of colleagues who are sort of seen as religion journalism experts, we're seeing kind of this conversation around editors, folks who get to make hiring decisions. You need to invest in quality religion coverage. You need these experts on staff to help you make sense of these complex, complicated issues that don't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. And if nothing else, as we were saying a little bit ago, have continued to intensify. So it serves your readers, your viewers, your listeners to to invest in this. And so that is something I would love to see more. Certainly, it's more competition to me. I think competition can be healthy for readers. They benefit from our competition. But I would love to see sort of just more religion journalists pop up across the country and continue to cover this, because frankly, there's just too much to cover, right? I can find nearly any time there's some sort of major religion national event, there is some local connection, or I can find a way in which that big issue or trend affects folks right here. And I just don't think that's unique to Nashville, even though we are the buckle of the Bible Belt. There are religious people in every community, as well as folks who are secular. And so I think we need this understanding, and I think hopefully, folks, as we move forward, we'll get more experts out there.
I agree. I'd like to see more coverage as well. I think it's healthy, and it's kind of a unique beat, and you want somebody that can build trust to do it, and I think that is beneficial. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. I want to talk about some of your specific stories, what you're working on, if you'll share that, whatever you feel comfortable with, and we'll take a break, come back right after this.